Module 3 talks about catering science and hygiene. Let us understand how this catering plays the important role in the aviation industry. It talks about the introduction of nutrition, carbohydrates, protein and fat, introduction to minerals, vitamins. The other challenge like food adulteration, food additives, food preservation and storage. And the role of hygiene in catering industry, the personal hygiene for food handlers, hygiene in food production, in service area, harmful effects of food organism. If you see the picture, it talks about how the hygienic standards have been maintained where the foods have been manufactured. Basically, these are the food outlets which have been preparing the foods for the flight depending on the menu which the passenger has been ordered. And this shows how the hygienic standards, starting from wearing the masks, your headgears, the gowns and the gloves. Coming to in-flight catering, once the foods have been prepared at the catering department, the in-flight catering service means the delivery of prepared and packed food beverages at any public airport for consumption aboard an aircraft while in flight. This is a typical pantry, a galley what I am showing you. If you can see this, it consists of boxes which have been intact and followed. These have been sealed and dispatched. These have been physically checked. Remember, this is a very vital point. There are chances of any hijacking because we don't know the resources from where things can happen. It's not only on the safety of the aircraft, it's also on the food and the health condition of the passengers. So every container has a different concepts. So these caterings will be having your heating options so that they can be stored and served after heating it. They all have the cold storage of different varieties. Some are packed food. Majority of the things, nothing is been prepared in the flight, comes only in the sealed. The packets have been removed, preheated, then it is been served to the passenger. The cold items like soft drinks and beverages, these all have been sold in the cold storage. It has a facility both on hot and cold options in the flight. The cabin crews have been trained how to handle this, how the locks are to be put, the safety standards. If you can see these red marks, locks, these are the locks which have been used in the aircraft for the purpose of the safety, so that in flight, when the flight is being maneuvering, they should not come out. They have ground locks also. It's basically a trolley driven, which consists of a wheel and from which they carry it to the individual passenger and served based upon his orders or the services. Coming to the next point, in-flight catering is a business that provides food services at the remote site. Specifically, airlines companies, it involves providing meal for passengers on board an aircraft as well as restaurants situated at the airport terminal. Here I am showing you on the picture a typical high lift loaders which are used by the catering, where the foodstuffs have been taken. It is been sealed. Remember, in airlines, no open foods are to be served. It is been pre-checked there. Even the crew, when they receive it, if the seal is not there, they can reject it and they won't take it also. So depending on the two decks, this is an Airbus 380. It's a 3-decker aircraft. You can see the height of both the decks individually depending on the requirements. These have been loaded in the aircraft. So coming to the nutritions, Essential nutrition include protein, carbohydrate, fat, minerals, vitamins, and electrolytes. Normally 85% of the daily energy used in the form of fat and carbohydrates and 15% from protein. In human, nutrition is mainly achieved through the process of putting food into our mouths, chewing it, and swallowing. Let us understand the introduction, what nutrition stands for. Nutrition is the study of food, and food, any substance which contains nutrients. And nutrient, any substance which can be digested and used by the body. There are six types of nutritions like protein, fats, carbohydrates, minerals, vitamins, and water. Carbohydrates are delivered from the element that makes up the molecular structure: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Carbohydrates are macronutrients that provide the body with 4 calories per gram. Starch, sugar, fiber are the most common carbohydrates found in the food. These are the typical links what I have been shared already for you for the further discussions. This is how the role it plays in this industry. Handling of foods, extra precautions, and depending on the flight and the industry standards, it varies from domestic to international. Low-cost airlines do not observe any such type of catering services. That's the difference. Thank you.